Alright, ladies and gents, and welcome back to, well, War Thunder with Mags, although this is going to be more of a chatty video. I've got a bit of stuff that I need to cover on this one. Some of it's going to affect the content on the channel, at least for the next month. Some of it's going to, well, some of it's affecting me in real life, and quite frankly, I just want to talk about it and clear it out of my head before I, punch a hole in the wall or something, because it's getting a bit that way at this point. So, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a talky video, guys. We're obviously taking out the Soviet Premium Matilda today as our background footage, and it is, well, it's probably the best version of the Matilda in War Thunder, sadly. I would have liked an Australian version that was pretty kick-ass, but I do drive it because I do like the Matilda, because Australia had a lot of them, and they were a good little tank. Very cute little tank, too. And the only one that's street legal, because as you can see, it's actually got a working mirror, so win-win. Anyways, so what has been going on? Well, basically, the last couple of weeks have been kinda shitty on this end. We've had a lot of things go wrong. So, first things first, the last couple of days we haven't been uploading videos, obviously. This is because I've had some issues with the computer, mainly focused around thermals. The computer's been getting incredibly hot, it's been overheating, it's been crashing, it's been force resetting due to heat, it's been thermal throttling. This has been affecting a lot of my ability to record, and I've had some issues with my SSDs in regards to recording as well. Now, I've basically come to the conclusion, I came to the conclusion at the time, the problem was actually the case. It wasn't so much the hardware, it was the case that it was in. The case that I have is a smaller case, and it was designed for a previous system build that was a lot less powerful, but generally ran a lot cooler than the AMD system that I've got now. And there's just simply not enough airflow with the big 1080 Ti inside of it and everything else I've got jammed into it. There just wasn't enough airflow going through the case, and things just weren't cooling fast enough. So the easiest way to fix that, of course, is to get a new case. So that's exactly what I did. I ordered up a new case, and with the vastly superior thermals, and ordered up, but it was both larger as well, gave me a little bit room for future upgrades, and ordered up a replacement SSD. Not a problem, a couple of days without videos. I was hoping the parts would arrive by Friday. They didn't. They didn't arrive till Monday. Swapped the stuff over to the new case. Everything's all good. Do my thermal tests. Thermals are fantastic. Not a problem. We have fixed the issue. Computer runs beautifully cold now. New SSD is perfectly fine. Alright. So, let's go in and start trying to record War Thunder. And unfortunately, the video didn't work for obvious reasons, but the screenshots you should be seeing on screen at the moment is what I came across. The video card's now dying. I fixed the thermals, but the video card's now dying. I don't have the money to replace the video card. So, I've managed to get it working. Obviously, I've recorded this match so you guys can watch, and rendered it on this video card, but I nearly didn't see this Sherman over here, but I'll explain to you why I didn't really see him in a second, which is going to make these videos a hell of a lot more fun. I did manage to actually get it working again, as you can see, but what I've had to do is I've had to declock my 1080 Ti to get it to run stable. Now keep in mind, I wasn't overclocking it to begin with. I've actually had to declock, reduce the speed of both the GPU and the memory below factory standard settings in order to get it to run stable. Now I don't know how long this is going to last for, I'll be perfectly honest. So I'm looking at options and what I can do at this point, but I'm trying to nurse this card at the moment. I may even have to wind it back to 1080p videos again, just to try and save the card, because it's going to take me a couple of months to get up enough money to actually replace it. Card costs in Australia, a 2080, which is basically what we're after now, a 2080 Ti, is $2,000. It's not cheap. And I probably want to hold off as much as I can anyway, because in September Nvidia is supposed to be releasing their new 3000 series of cards. So if I'm going to buy a video card, I should probably just nurse this for a couple of months, and well, hopefully can nurse it for a couple of months, and look into a 3000 card when they come out, because hopefully they'll be about the same price as the current ones, which are already ridiculously expensive, but we can make something work. So yeah, I'm now running on a declocked 1080 Ti that I'm nursing and hoping that it's not going to explode. I got really lucky here. There was a guy just to the south of this particular Sherman. He was in a position where I wasn't going to be able to pen him or do anything about him, but he would have options to get me if he grew some balls and went over the ridge. But he didn't check his left, and thankfully that saved my bacon. So anyway, that's where the computer's at the moment. I fixed one major problem and immediately ran into another, which is great, because that's about the story of everything that's going on at the moment. Second problem that's been going on, as most of you know, I have to wear special hard plastic contact lenses to be able to see. I've got a genetic condition in my eyes. It's degenerative. In about 20 or so years, if I don't do anything about it, I'm probably going to go blind. The only option that I have to correct it is corneal replacement surgery, which means I need to go in and, while awake, have a surgeon use a scalpel to cut my corneas out and sew on the corneas of a dead man. As you can imagine, I don't want to do that for a while yet, so I am using the contact lenses. Unfortunately, the thing about contact lenses is they can break, which is precisely what has happened. Now, these contact lenses, I got really lucky. These guys didn't see me up here as well. These contact lenses are not cheap, and they take a while to mold. They've all got to be custom molded for your eyes, which involves 3D mapping the surface of your eye in order to get the shapes right, and a whole bunch of things have to go right to get these lenses. Now, I was due a new set of lenses, so that and getting the appointment to actually get new ones wasn't a problem, but the problem is actually, like I cannot see without them. I am legally blind without them. I did, however, have a spare in the form of an old contact that is roughly 2 to 3 years old. So I'm using that. The problem is, it was molded for the shape of my eye 2 to 3 years ago, and as I said, this condition is degenerative. So it doesn't quite fit. So at the moment, I'm seeing the world through what I could best describe as a thin sheen of oil. It almost looks like I'm trying to live in a living oil painting. Everything is slightly blurry, colours are overly bright, sort of like an LSD trip without any of the fun parts attached. And yeah, that is obviously not great. Flying sim has basically become impossible. I can barely see the ground targets in a bomber, and I could barely see the air targets when I had the good contact lenses in. Now I'm done. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, because I just can't see straight. And I can't drive anymore. So the missus has got to drive me around. So that's fun. I've got the appointment for new scans for my eyes, to do the topography and everything for my eyes tomorrow. Should be 2 weeks from there. I should have the first tester set. The tester set of contacts is almost guaranteed to not fit. But it can be then retested and adjusted based on a second set of tests, and then it'll be about 2 weeks beyond that I should get a set that I can actually use. So it'll be about a month before I actually can see properly again, which is alright. I can work around that. It's only a month, and I've already got the appointments booked in, so all good. But that means for the next month I can't actually drive anywhere in the real world, and I can't see properly for sims. I can fly civilian sims, but I'm not looking for looking for aircraft or bombing targets there. The smallest thing I've got to really be able to see is a runway that's, you know, 1.5 miles long or 2 miles long. So, and even that, I generally need a map. But that's fine because you have one. But yeah, that's about all I can fly sim-wise, and War Thunder's about my limit there, so that's all fun. And that's not all, because at the moment it's school holidays. I did my exams. As far as I know, I did pretty well on them, I think. I haven't exactly gotten back yet, but I haven't had any complaints, so I'm assuming that they went well. But school holidays is obviously for everybody, so my daughter came up. Now, I haven't seen my daughter since January because of the Wu flu. She has been unable to travel because of all the quarantines. So finally got her. So she's come up for the holidays. Fantastic. It's spent time with her. It's been great. Really missed her, and it was great. Unfortunately, a bunch of dickheads in Melbourne couldn't follow basic fucking instructions, and so if I'm not sure how much the rest of the world has actually been hearing about this, but the city of Melbourne in Victoria, my state, has basically caused its own potentially larger than the original outbreak of the Wu flu here in Australia. It is so bad that the states of Queensland actually did a while ago, and as of midnight tonight, the state of New South Wales is closing the borders to Australia. Closing the borders to Victoria. Victoria is isolated. No Victorians, regardless of where you're from, are allowed to leave their own state now. The other states are just quarantining us. And as of tomorrow night, the city of Melbourne is going into a complete stage 3 lockdown because the virus is getting out of control. This is going to be at least 6 weeks, which means I've only just seen my daughter again, and then I'm probably now not going to be able to see her for absolutely guaranteed minimum 6 weeks. But some experts have popped up saying it's entirely possible with the severity of this second outbreak that Melbourne could remain in a stage 3 lockdown to Christmas. So I saw my daughter in January, I've seen her now, and I may not actually see her to Christmas. It's all because a bunch of fuckwits in Melbourne couldn't fucking sit on the couch. Could not go out to a restaurant. Could not shake their signs in the street. Just basically couldn't not do a bunch of stupid shit. While the rest of the state managed to actually pull it off. So, yeah. And that's assuming at this point that's the best case scenario. Worst case, last time there was one of these, the people from Melbourne broke their own quarantines to come up into the rural areas to try and raid all their supermarkets, and apparently that has actually already started, so it's entirely possible that they're going to bring their shit up here, and rural Victoria, including my area, is going to be in a stage 3 quarantine very soon too. So it's entirely possible that I will once again not even be able to leave my house. So, yeah, I can't think, just everything's fucking going wrong at this point, guys. And it is getting on my head a little bit. It's killing a lot of my motivation to get shit done. I'm trying to get shit done. I'm trying to get it going. I've got my, I've got my degree and everything else that I've got to focus on here. But I'm fixing issues and they're breaking. I'm just trying to do the right thing and continually getting fucked over, and it's getting to me a bit. I'm sure there's other people out there that have significantly worse problems than I do at this point. This was funny. I couldn't help but laughing at the time. I didn't realise earlier on, but somehow the Russians actually managed to give the Matilda Russian gun depression. That's as low as I can get its gun. So I had to bring it up to the flat in order to be able to get shots on, and I couldn't end up saving this Paul Panzer III here. It's a shame, because he was doing a good job. He was my buddy following me around, but I did at the very least avenge him. Yeah, it's, and for the record, I didn't intend to come over here and start spawn camping. This is just where I wound up, and driving a Matilda is kind of like driving a Churchill. Once you get to somewhere, that's where you are. You know, you're not going somewhere else very quickly, and this is just happens to be where I wound up being. So, might as well take advantage of it. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. So, for the important part for you guys is obviously content for the channel. So, I can play War Thunder for the moment, providing the video card holds out. I couldn't work out where to shoot this bastard either, because he's got two gunners that are sitting in those mini turrets up the front. So I took out his main gun. This annoyed me. This shot right here. Straight through the front, and his MG ate it and saved the gunner, but that shell did not disable the MG. That MG is still firing. Like, I shot an MG with a 76mm cannon, and not only did the guy behind it not die, but the MG kept firing. Yeah. Just get stuff, Gaijin. Yeah. So, I can, for so long as the video card can hold out, I'll be able to keep doing War Thunder. I'll definitely be able to continue my, Diaspora playthrough and complete that. In fact, I'm looking forward to playing that. I'm not sure where else I'm going to be able to go. Like, at this point, flight sim-wise, the only civilian flight sim I've got installed at the moment I can't show you because of NDA. And the combat sims, I'll be perfectly honest, I haven't tested IL-2 yet, and I don't have DCS installed at the moment. I've got to install the stable client for DCS, and I'm not even sure how they'll run on this video card, if they'll run at all. Assuming that they do, I won't be able to see anything properly out of them, so they're probably off the cards for content for the moment, unless I can work something out. Yeah, I might have to do a couple of things, but I just wanted to let you guys know and everything that's going on, and if the channel goes a little weird over the next couple of weeks, this is why. Things are kind of crap. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Until next time, take care.